Okay, so I kind of come up with an idea for an intro, and also I'm recording this like 18 hours before I have to go to the airport. So, yeah, enjoy the video. Hello, people at the interwebs. This is Luke Moore back with the final video of the year. So, with the 2010s coming to an end, I figured what better way to end it with taking a look at one of the first lines that got me into Japanese imports. Not the first, that was the SH Figuarts Mario line, but the second one is the SH Figuarts Naruto line. Yeah, so this line started in summer of 2014 and ended in spring of 2018. But Tamashii Nations claimed that they were just taking a hiatus to focus on the Dragon Ball Z line. But then they started putting out the Harry Potter line, the Cowboy Bebop line, and so many other things. It was pretty much confirmed that they're not coming back. This line's dead. And it really sucks because, yeah, even though we have like 13 figures, we only got 10 characters. Which sucks. And yeah, I had this idea for a while, but it just didn't really dawn on me until Animated Heroes made his video on this topic, and I wanted to get my video before the end of the year, so that's why I'm making it right now. So without further ado, let's take a look at the line. So the first figure that came out in 2014 is, of course, Naruto, which I don't have, so I'm just going to show you this image that I stole off the internet. And honestly, this one's pretty bad. It just doesn't look like him. The hair and face sculpt is pretty bad. The proportions aren't really that good. The shoulders are a bit broad, and the paint job, he has orange highlights in his hair, and he has black shading on his clothes. It just makes him look dirty. And in recent years, the black paint on his chest piece has started to chip off. So not in the highest quality. And also, I think the reason it looks bad because they had the sculpt done in 2012, but it wasn't until 2 years later where the figure got greenlighted, I guess. So it was already outdated, but it did come with good accessories, except for the faces. They look really bad, but as an actual standard action figure, it's okay, but the sculpt just kills it for me. So overall, it's pretty bad. So in 2015, we got only 2 figures. The first one we got was Sasuke, and it's based off of the second half of Shippuden, where he has his bangs down and this shirt, which kind of resembles his old Genin shirt. And that's probably my favorite version of Sasuke. I just really like that outfit. Now, it is using the same build as the first Naruto, which kind of holds it back, but even still, it's a lot better compared to that, because it actually looks like Sasuke. Although they did make the neck a little bit too long, so you have to like mess with the head joint and neck joint to make it look right. And the shading is a lot better. This little rope thing kind of pokes out a little too much, so it sucks. But my biggest complaint is the paint on the legs. Let me explain that. The pants are supposed to be a darker shade of blue than this skirt piece. So in order to try to fix that, they just put a lot of black shading, which kind of makes it look like camouflage. And his sandals here are supposed to be like a Batman gray, which I don't really care about them being black, but the problem that I have is that this top part has blue shading on it. So it kind of makes it look like this whole piece is just camouflage or something. So that's my biggest problem. But other than that, it's a decent figure. It comes with good accessories. You get a shouting face with the Mokeki Sharingan. He's got a sword and the sheath, and then you have a piece that's both of them in one, and the Chidori, which looks pretty cool. So yeah, that's Sasuke. Then we got Kakashi, which is a massive improvement. I think this is when the line actually got good. He looks just like him. He's got great articulation, great range, and yeah, the only problem that I have is that his effect here, which is supposed to be Lightning Blade, doesn't really look like it. They could have done a bit better. And it's attached to the hand. And I don't have a problem with that, because unlike with Fire Mario and Yoshi, where the fireball and the egg kind of needs to be detachable to get some poses, I don't see any reason to take off the effect parts with these guys, because they're always in the hand, so I don't mind that. But yeah, again, his accessories are really good. He comes with the most. He's got a bunch of hands, he's got a separate head that covers his eye, and then you got this interchangeable head with different face plates, and you got this hand that makes it look like he's pulling his headband up. But I really wish he came with a face that had both eyes normal, because the other one is just difference is that this eye is closed. But other than that, it's a really, really good figure. It's probably my favorite out of the line, and it is the best one out of the line. Then in 2016, we got 4 new figures. That was the most we got in 1 year. So the first one we got was Minato, and gonna be honest here, it's not my favorite. It's not a bad figure, it's just not really one of my favorites. The sculpt and paint job is good, but the joints are really noticeable. You got a hinge here, hinge right there. So that really sucks. And it also has this floating piece for the ab crunch. I'm not a fan of it. I just don't like it, because it's just hard to strain this out. But yeah, but the articulation is good nonetheless. It comes with good accessories like the Sengan, which is the best looking one out of the bunch, and his teleportation Jitsu Kunai. Comes with good hands and faces. But another problem is that he's shorter than Kakashi, which is really disappointing. They should have been the same size. If they would just use the same sculpt as Kakashi and just added the Hokage cloak, then it would be fine. In fact, a lot of people wish the cloak was removable and then have separate sleeves, and so you can pose them as like the sensei. But I guess they didn't perfect that yet, so they didn't do that. So overall, it's not bad, but it's just not my favorite. Then after that, we got Sennin mode Naruto. And this figure is awesome. It's a lot better than that piece of crap Naruto we got before, because the sculpt is a lot better. The hair and the face looks exactly like Naruto. The body proportions are good, except for the feet, they're a little bit small. But yeah, it's really good. It's a completely new sculpt, minus the hands. And it just looks a lot better. The pouch doesn't pop off when you try to move the legs back. The ab crunch here is not the best articulation, but I rarely use it to begin with. And the orange on this one is a little bit too bright, but other than those things, it's really good. He doesn't come with thumbs up hands, which is unfortunate, and both of the interchangeable faces are Sage Mode faces, which it's fine, but I would have liked it if they just went with normal faces throughout this entire figure, because this is, to me, the 2.0 Naruto. So yeah, screw the original, this is better, and it comes with the Sengan and kunais and all that. So yeah, lovely. And then after that, we got the Itachi battle Sasuke, which was released alongside Itachi, which we'll get into next. Now, of course, this is based off his outfit when he fought and killed Itachi. He has a sleeveless shirt, which I'm not a fan of. Sasuke just does not look good sleeveless. But the articulation is technically better. It's kind of like a half repaint and half new figure. The whole bottom section, the skirt, the legs, the feet, it's all the same mold. It's just this top portion is the new sculpt. The face looks a little bit better. His default face kind of looks too feminine, but his Sharingan face, which actually shows his normal Sharingan, it's really good. It's perfect. And the hair is a little bit of improvement. He doesn't have a bicep swivel, but it'll probably look ugly because of the bare arms. And they got the paint on the pants right, so that's really good. But I do think the rope and the skirt are a little bit too bright. I do like the shade of blue and purple on the old one. And it does come with all the same accessories, except he comes with 2 sword-wielding hands instead of 1. But yeah, overall, it is an improvement. It's technically a better figure, but I do prefer the old one. I guess I'm just a little bit biased for the outfit. And now finally we got Itachi. Now this cloak piece and the crow didn't come with the figure originally. The cloak that came with the figure originally sucked. It was one plastic piece. You had to take the arms off and then put them around. You couldn't do anything with it. So I got this. I usually hate cloth clothing on a plastic figure, but this one's an exception. And plus the crow, which should have come with originally. His sculpt is nice. His articulation's really good. You see, I got his face right here where he kind of hurt his eye, but it's not bleeding. But even though the Nendoroid figure has his eye bleeding, so that's really unfortunate. But yeah, the faces are good. His accessories are good. It's just an overall good figure. And these two were kind of made side by side because they were both based off the Itachi battle. And it's kind of ironic because the only time he took off his cloak was for that fight. Most of the time he's like this. But yeah, it's a really nice figure. It's just the crow should have come with originally. And they could have done a better job on the cloak on the original. So yeah, so that's basically it with the 2016 figures. And then in 2017 we got only 3 figures, which weren't bad, but they were pretty bland. So the first one we got was Rock Lee, and he's pretty good. He's the same build as Kakashi, so which means the articulation's really good. But he came with a lot of stuff. But it felt like a lot of stuff, but it was kind of little. He came with a head and hands for like each thing. The first head was just this basic pose like this, and then the other was neutral, and then he came with a face and hands for like the drunken fist, which he didn't even do in Shippuden. And then the final one, he came with the head, neck piece, hands, and feet for the 8 Gates Awakening. So yeah, that's a lot, but also the problem with that is that it leaves the figure with little more wanted accessories. But overall, Rock Lee is not bad. The only issue that I have is that with this face, his eyes are kind of looking to the side, and I hate figures that do that. I just don't like wandering eyes. I really like them straightforward. But overall, Rock Lee's still pretty good. And then we got Gaara, the only non-hidden leaf ninja, and he's not bad. His skirt piece is kind of posed where it kind of looks like it's blowing in the wind, and it's soft. That's one thing I forgot about the Itachi battle Sasuke, is that his skirt piece is so thick and hard that you can't do anything with it. But with this figure and beyond, the skirt pieces are relatively soft. Yeah, the head looks a little too big, but it's not too bad. The shading in the hair, it kind of looks like he dyed his hair black once, and as it's growing, it's going back to its old color, so that looks really weird. He's got a sand pouch, which looks really good, and the articulation still is good. I forgot how the ab crunch is. Actually, I remember it's probably better than the Sending Naruto. And yeah, he does come with good accessories, good hands, and he comes with this giant sand claw that you attach to a stand, which I didn't feel like bringing out. But yeah, overall, Gaara is not bad. And then we got Madara, the first true villain, and the only villain we got. Now, this one has problems. Yes, his accessories are good, his sculpt is good, he comes with both the fan and the axe, but there's no way to put the fan on his back, and also the feet. Now, this won't be a problem. This is based off the Second Great War version, but he comes with a reanime face, which, by the way, is really creepy as hell. You can get nightmares from that. It just didn't look good. So to have the reanimated face with him just didn't look right. And the articulation is kind of hindered between the armor. Like this moves and then the skirt piece. You can get good leg articulation, but even though he has an ab crunch, you can't use it. And also his hair is so damn big. Is there any reason why it needs to be this big? You can't do anything with the head. So yeah. Again, the accessories were good, the articulation's good, but it's just can't really do anything with it because the articulation's hindered by basically everything. So, yeah, overall these figures were not the worst. They were still great, but they were pretty lackluster compared to the others. And then finally, in 2018, we got 3 figures. I only have 2 up there for now. And this is where the line started to get really exciting again, but it was too late. So, first that year we got Jiraiya, and this was exciting. The articulation's good. Everything is made out of a really soft, rubbery material, so he had great articulation. He's got a scroll here. Even the ponytail is articulated. And he came with a good number of stuff. It's mainly based off of part 1. He comes with the book telling his story about Naruto, and then he came with the 2 ice creams. Well, it's just one of those like ice creams that have 2 sticks. He would whip them and show it with Naruto. And he came with 4 face expressions, which were really good. And yeah, but my problem, this is a personal problem with me, that kind of kills, well, not actually kills the figure for me, but it kind of draws off a bit, that he's so top heavy, and so his sandals have these plates kind of like those old-fashioned Japanese sandals. He's a little top heavy, so therefore he's a little wobbly. It's hard to get him to stand. Now, that could be just a personal problem. I don't know everyone else has it, but it's not a complete turnoff for me, but that is kind of a little disappointing. And he has his Rasengan, which, again, looks good. Is it movable? Yeah, I think it is, which I don't understand why. But yeah, Jiraiya, it was a really good figure. It got us excited for the line again. And then next came Boruto. Now, I already reviewed him when he originally came out, but all I'm going to say for him is that they could have just waited him off. The only reason they made him was because the anime just hit Japan, and it was just basically to advertise it. Now, again, I don't hate the figure. It's one of my favorite figures of 2018, but I'm just saying that they could have just waited it out and give us more Shippuden characters. So that way you have the anime the Boruto anime could grow and get more of a fandom. And then everyone would be more excited for the figures. So then after that, we got this. The Sage Mode Naruto. The proper Sage Mode Naruto. Now, a lot of people complain that we should have just got this from the start, because it's the exact same figure as the last Naruto, except he comes with the cloak and the scroll. Now, I don't mind that it's the same figure, because just like with the DBZ line, they reuse body sculpts and they do repaints all the time. So if we're going to have Naruto variants, we have to have a good Naruto figure, which was this. So I don't mind it's the same figure, but my problem is that it doesn't come with new accessories. It's all the same accessories. Even the faces are all the same. So that's really disappointing. And when I saw promo pictures of this figure, I asked, why is the cloak removable? Because as Sage Mode Naruto, it looks good, but when you put the normal face on and take the cloak off, it kind of looks like a bootleg, honestly. But it still looks really nice. It's more based off of the manga than the anime. I do think this shade of orange is a bit better than the other one, and the hair, I actually kind of like the older hair better. But yeah, it does look good. Again, the Rasengan looks good. He comes with kunai and same hands and all that stuff. So, I knew this figure was coming. In fact, when they announced the Itachi battle Sasuke, I was like, yeah, maybe eventually once they made this figure, and then shortly after this figure was announced, I picked it up. So, yeah. They could have been called, this figure could have been called the Pain Fight Naruto, but unfortunately we never got a pain. And that's basically the line. Now, they did reveal a Sakura right around the same time when Rock Lee was announced, but of course, that figure never saw the light of day. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da. You know, it's bad enough that they had a figure planned but then never saw the light of day, but the fact that they had a physical prototype and it was never released is really disappointing. So hopefully another company will get the Naruto rights and make more figures, or Tamashii Nations comes back to this line. But most likely if they do come back, it's going to be another variant of Naruto. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say for this video. Hope you guys enjoy it. And like I said, this is going to be the last video of the year and the decade. So I'll see you guys in 2020. So, bye-bye.